Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? I'm Mike Dewan here with the Region Sports Network for another 100-yard walk, this time with the new interim head football coach of Highland, Jimmy McCormack. Coach, what's going on?
Nothing much, Mike. Ready for a great day of football here at Highland. Got a great day of practice planned today, and then got another one tomorrow here with a scrimmage with EC. So last two great days here for us this summer.
Yeah, I know the summer's definitely kind of winding down before really August kind of hits and things really get official. Well, Coach, first off, congratulations on the new title. Talk to us a little bit, Coach, about kind of that process where, yes, we know Coach Geffert was previously the head coach, and then things kind of trickled down to where they were looking for an opening. And then you kind of stepped in, taking this interim role. Just talk to us about that process.
Yeah. So obviously, I've been working with Ben the last 2 years. It's been a great time working here and getting to know the kids and all that. And then it just kind of worked out where obviously I was in a position where I was willing to take the job, wanted the job. And then it became available because of, everything that was going on. And as things unfolded, tough to find somebody at this point in the process, you know what I mean? So it kind of really worked out where as Harrington and I sat down. We just kind of worked out where I'd be the guy and would lead Highland forward for this season.
So now, what's that like? Where I know you've been on staff for a couple seasons, Coach, and yes, you do have the new title. But you being around the kids, I'm sure that could only benefit you now taking this new title. I guess talk to us about that prior experience, kind of serving as the coordinator role under Coach Geffert here at Highland, and how that benefits you going forward.
Yeah, it's been incredibly helpful because having been here already, right, getting to know the kids. Every kid that's on our team now, from freshmen through seniors, I've coached for either 2 years or 1 year in some capacity. With Ben and I doing the seventh grade football together a couple of years ago, our incoming freshmen I've coached already. So we've coached a lot of different groups of kids already, and our staff collectively has kind of been together doing that. We've only had one person, I think, added on. That was an add-on last year after we lost someone from the year before. So that consistency as a staff's been great, I think, in kind of keeping things consistent for the kids and keeping things kind of understanding of what our goals are, especially like weight room wise, and pushing things on them to kind of push forward on the things that Coach Geffert was already kind of implementing here, just kind of trying to enhance those things and keep going with what we were working on together, because that was the right way to keep going with a lot of things.
Yeah, Coach, talk to me about the weight room a little bit, because I saw that it's been a very promising offseason for the guys, a lot of production in the weight room. And I guess just talk to us about kind of what we saw so far in the spring when you kind of really kind of took over, and then in the summer here with your guys.
Yeah, and from the time in June that I was able to take over, seeing the guys in the weight room every day and kind of really monitoring that process a little closer as the head coach as opposed to a coordinator, where, yeah, I'm here every day. I was seeing all that. It's not that I wasn't here very often, right? I was here almost all the time with Ben. So kind of seeing that process unfold of our guys that have been lifting now for the last few years. We had about a group of 12 to 15 last year that lifted. And now this year we've got a group that's closer to 27 to 30 that we're lifting consistently every day, that are trying to do what it takes, right, to push our other guys to that level of, hey, you need to be here consistently, you need to lift consistently, and those are the things that are going to take us over the top or give us a chance to compete with teams that we haven't competed with over the last few years. So if we want to keep climbing our win total and increasing that, we got to find ways to outwork people in the weight room specifically, and I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to achieve that goal. Time will tell if we've done enough to reach it.
I know it's been a tough past couple of seasons for the Highland Trojans. How are you trying to kind of motivate these guys? Or yes, you have been around, and it's been kind of under the previous head coach's, I guess, message of, hey guys, we're going to right this ship. Mm-hmm. It may take some time. How are you maybe using some of the experiences you use kind of in that light, while also, kind of shedding light, kind of from your end and using your perspective with these guys, or hey, we're still trying to turn this thing around, but now I'm kind of the new sheriff in town, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, trying to get guys to just buy into the same process, because I think this was going to be something consistent, whether it was myself, Ben in charge, or anybody else. I think our message needed to be about being consistent with working hard, whether that was weight room, right, and being here in attendance, because we've had a lot of guys that didn't always show up, and haven't really bought into the attendance side of things. And being here is more important than anything, obviously, because we can't coach you if you're not here. And our guys that do show up and buy into the weight room process are getting better at football, and it's going to hopefully produce more wins for Highland football. But if it doesn't, it's because there's guys that just aren't catching up to that yet. But I think we can get them there if we keep kind of harping on the things of consistent effort, hard work, intensity. It's something that we haven't stopped talking about since we've taken this thing over in June. And I think it's something we would have been talking about no matter who was in charge.
Those traits reign true. You've been a football guy, right? 2010 Morton graduate,
Yeah.
and then really kind of since then, after your playing days, you kind of hopped right into coaching.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about kind of that origin story, the places you've kind of been, and maybe kind of how those prior experiences as a coach, you look at it now, and now, hey, we're the interim head coach of Highland football.
Yeah, so I started coaching with Roy Richards a year after I graduated high school. So not immediately after that 2010 season where the fellows went on a nice run to semi-state and lost to Fort Wayne Dwenger. That was my first year like out of football, just kind of hanging out. My son was born, getting into coaching a little bit, thinking about it. And then the following year in 2011, I got into coaching a little bit with Roy, with Coach Richards, and he allowed me to coach, kind of help coach our offensive line with a great friend of mine, Jeremy DeRolf, that him and I got to have some really good fun coaching that and coaching JV football together on Saturday morning. So it was awesome to kind of do that, kind of learn there. And then from that point on, Morton was kind of trending in such a positive direction after the 2 years I spent there that I kind of told Roy, like, hey, I think you guys are doing great. I think great things are on the horizon. Like, I can't dedicate the time that I think you deserve. So I went to coaching youth football for a couple of years before I found my way back to coaching in high school and pursuing my degree to teach. And started doing that then and with Coach Kinsey, 2017 and 18 at Morton. Had great times there, and then I kind of bounced around, as everybody's probably seen from all the posts, right? I've been to Gavitt, Michigan City, Hobart, and then Lake Central, and now here. All of those experiences have helped me become a better coach. I've coached on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. So it's been great for me to learn and grow and become better. A great friend of mine that coaches at Morton, him and I talk all the time about you kind of have to earn it, and you have to go through the steps of the process. And a lot of times people skip those steps. So hopefully not skipping the steps gives me a chance to do a great job in this role, or the best job that I could possibly do in this role. So that's kind of my objective with it, and how I want to take it and how I want to take that experience to kind of shape me as a coach moving forward.
And as we enter this chapter, Coach, as we approach the Trojan head here, what could you say kind of about, these past few seasons here? We know you have some family here that we'll eventually get into, of course, as well. But this chapter in your football career, how can you kind of reflect? And obviously, in the position we're in now, it's a lot has kind of led to this moment, Coach.
Yeah, no, it's been really fun. You know what I mean? The football journey, the people I've coached with, I appreciate a ton. I talk to dudes from every different place that I've coached at, and coached guys I've coached with that I like to reach out and talk to, because for multitudes of reasons, they bring obviously good insight into things, and they've taught me things along the way. Most importantly, because if you're not willing to learn and grow in this profession, like, you're not going to go anywhere or do anything. So truthfully, I think learning throughout the process from all these different great head coaches that I've had the pleasure of being around, as well as great assistant coaches, has kind of allowed me the opportunity to, put myself in a position to think that I can, manage an entire staff, right, and an entire program, and hopefully I can prove that I'm able to do that, as well as some other people around here that are doing a great job.
At Athletic Performance Factory in Highland, Indiana, we push you to be bigger, faster, stronger, more explosive. Challenge every muscle with our cutting-edge sand speed and agility training. Build rock-solid strength and core stability to dominate on game day. Rent our full-size outdoor turf field for team workouts and practices. Improve your swing, boost your field skills, and protect your arm with expert one-on-one baseball and softball training built around you. We develop the entire athlete, mentally and physically. Athletic Performance Factory, where athletes are made.
Get Pulse technology on your team. Hit a home run with our managed print and copier services, IT and technology solutions, office furniture and design services, office supplies, scoreboards, and AV solutions.
Strack and Van Til for the win with 4 ways to save. Catch price drops on over 15,000 items and check the weekly ad for can't miss deals. Stack on the rewards program for digital coupons, points toward discounts and free products, and power up with our own brands. Keep your budget in the safety zone. Get the same great taste as national labels at lower prices. If you can't taste the difference, why pay the difference? Score big value with 4 ways to save at Strack and Van Til.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Looking at the players, Coach, from what I gather, this is an offensive group that brings a lot of experience from last year's squad. We could start there, and maybe some other players and positional groups you want to shout out that has had a good summer leading into the fall.
Yeah, so offensively, we do bring back 9 out of 11 guys. So we did end up losing 2. I thought it was 1, but it is 2 guys from last year that aren't coming back. So losing those 2 guys hurts a little bit as far as that continuity, right, of our offense. But we've got some great guys ready to step up into those roles. Some young fellas, guys that played a little bit last year, and some guys that did not play at all last year that with the varsity, so to speak, right? But I think they've done a nice job this summer and showed us that they might be able to step in and give us a potential chance to make some plays on a Friday night. So really excited about that offensive group. Defensively, we've had a really good summer with some of our key defensive players kind of growing and learning and understanding how we want our defense aligned, how we want to do things, where we want guys to line up, how we want to communicate things. I think they've done a great job of that, taking command and taking ownership of the team and leadership aspects, not just offensively and defensively, but in the locker room and in warm-ups and things like that. We've had some juniors and seniors that have done a great job of kind of really emphasizing that message of taking this thing seriously all the time and working hard and working consistently.
To my knowledge, I know your son as well got a lot of time at quarterback last year. What is that dynamic like where it's kind of a first for the both of you, right? You're kind of in a new position here. While also, I know it was especially a special season for him last year, getting his first varsity action. Now he's going to be a junior. What's that like, kind of balancing that dynamic as, of course, the head coach, but also the father of the quarterback on the team?
Yeah, no, it's as far as when we walked in the building here, you know,
Are things going to be kind of similar schematically from last year to this year? Or are you going to kind of put some of your own spin on it now that you kind of have the reins?
So, I mean, there was going to be some changes defensively no matter what, because Ben and I had talked about some of those things together. So that's something that some people may notice a difference in. And then offensively, obviously, myself will, still be around so people can kind of know what to expect. Once they see some film, they'll expect a little bit more of and understand a little bit more of what we're doing, I guess you could say. But for now, I think we got some good things cooking and really excited about what we have coming up for this season.
Have you noticed any goals amongst the group heading into 2026?
Yeah, I think they all want to win more, of course, right? That's what any kid would want to do that's only won 3 games, right, over the last 2 years. But I think they have goals to win games that we've been competitive in, right? Like we've had a few games the last couple of years where we've shown that we can compete for phases, right, in times of the game. And I think they need to show that they need to be, like we've talked about this entire time, right, consistent in how they go about doing that, right? So how are we going about our preparation? How are we practicing? How are we attacking drills, right? Are we attacking them like it's a game-like situation? Are we doing things that prepare them for that as coaches, right? All of those things being consistent throughout will hopefully allow these guys to achieve goals of winning more games, putting us in a position to advance further in the sectional, right? Obviously, losing a heartbreaker last year hurts. But, that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. You got to try to bounce back, and these dudes are doing their best to work really hard. As I said, our weight room attendance increased a ton. So consistency, right, as far as that goes, because we've had more numbers than that. We've had less. We've got way more than that coming out for the summer, right, than we had consistently lifting. But that's what I said. It's part of getting everybody else caught up to doing that consistently, everybody lifting all the time together and working hard together.
And then, Coach, final question before we hit these kind of red zone quick hitters, but going back to goals, I want to maybe talk about kind of individual goals, or just really for you, kind of in this chapter. I know this is technically right now kind of that 1 year period, right, at the interim title, but what are you kind of looking to achieve personally as a coach here in 2026 in this new, again, chapter of your football career?
No, personally, I want to just see this group of kids continue to progress and grow.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
All right, Coach, got to know a little bit more about you. I feel like now I can finally ask this because you're a head coach. I know you've coached one unit a little bit more than the other, but if you were have to choose offense or defense?
Yeah, I enjoy coaching offense. Everybody loves calling plays, right, that end up scoring touchdowns, right? There are things about coaching defense, though, that are really, really tremendously fun when you really get into the details of stopping people's run game, right? I think as an offensive guy, it allows you to take a step back and look at it and say, okay, this person's doing this. Why are they doing that? Okay, it's because as a defensive coach, right, you would coach them to do this. So having that experience of both is great. I think it's helping me learn and grow as an offensive play caller. And then, as a defensive coach, now coaching on the offensive side, right, learning how people want to attack you and where they want to attack and why, right, based on what you're lined up in. That helps you kind of understand of what you got to defend and why you have to defend it.
Good perspective. Also, former offensive lineman, correct? Give me some traits that all O-linemen must have to play on the fields on Fridays and maybe some Saturdays.
They honestly, so this is one that I'll give that I don't think a lot of people like to give. Everybody loves going with the tough answers. Those are phenomenal answers, of course. I like communication skills, being able to talk to people. Those are the 5 guys that I probably get on the most if they don't talk to each other. I'll yell at quarterbacks, of course, for communicating. Of course, everybody should be doing some kind of communicating on a football field, right? But when those 5 guys don't talk to each other, nothing is going to work. So if those 5 dudes don't talk to each other, that's one of my biggest pet peeves as a coach up front.
Well said. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie. I have a few that I give this answer to. I'll probably go with Four Brothers. I like Four Brothers. It's a camaraderie movie, kind of growing up through gritty circumstances. It's obviously a very fictional thing, very simple thing, but something I've enjoyed growing up.
Favorite food?
I like chicken. Fried chicken specifically would be one of my favorites.
Gotcha. What about a couple favorite football players growing up? Or we could even go back to the offensive linemen where we're talking about any old linemen that stick out to you as well.
You said that I've coached, or that
I'll say that you watched growing up.
Oh, that I've watched growing up,
yeah,
like
childhood, or even somebody even today.
So I'm an Oklahoma fan. So over the last years that I've watched guys kind of going through, like Lane Johnson was one that was incredible to watch, like going through, and obviously his NFL career's panned out pretty well for him. some guys that like more recently, like I loved watching Orlando Brown Jr. And it was great watching him too because everybody said his 40 time sucked. But that honestly doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing for a living. If people would have watched him pull and move in space and pass protect, they would have realized he had something, and he wouldn't have probably fallen as far as he did in drafts and mock drafts and all these fun things leading up to that. And then he ends up being an all-pro player, making himself a ton of money because he was that dude. So,
Right, exactly.
those are some dudes that have stuck out for me. Creed Humphrey was one that was fun to watch. The Chiefs center that came through there. They were loaded on the O-line for a time, so it was fun to watch those dudes come through. Those are dudes that have stuck out more recently, and then Lane Johnson before them is one that I watched a lot.
Gotcha. You've played under some good coaches. You've also coached with some good coaches. I'm sure there are a lot of pieces of advice to be given out. Is there a piece of advice that still sticks with you today, Coach?
Oh, man. So, honestly, I got this from one of the hilariously enough, isn't one from one of the famously great coaches I've coached with, like as far as head coaches are concerned, right? It's another coaching friend of mine that coaches over at Morton still to this day. And he said to me, like, the importance of time and how important time is in a practice. I learned that coaching youth football for a year, and the time that you have, right, in that 2.5 hour window, like you can't waste a minute of that time. And understanding how important time is when it comes to planning things for football and knowing what your schedule is and what you want to accomplish for that day. Like, you can't waste any time with that. And it kind of led me into, in other roles, right, being prepared and being scheduled and being planned and ready to go when it came to, whether it was being a coordinator, offensive coordinator at LC or a defensive coordinator at Hobart, being prepared for each day. And planning out what we need time-wise to get accomplished in that specific time that we had allotted to us each day. That's probably one of the most incredible pieces of advice, like that as a coach I could give to anybody, is like monitor your time wisely. Even if you're coaching Pee-wee football, whatever it is, doesn't matter the age level, whatever time you have, like plan it out wisely and use it wisely.
That's very wise. That's very wise words. Are there any artists, musical artists, or genres that have to be on your playlist?
I am a big, I like kind of the rap from my day, I guess you could say. I like 50 Cent, T.I. I do like older than that a little bit too, so Tupac and Biggie. Those are things that I enjoy to kind of have on my playlist. It doesn't really fit the kids sometimes, but I'll let them run the aux from time to time and let them get their best interest in, and they enjoy that.
That's a good coach. All right, as we cross the goal line, any final words for what is to be your first season as the interim head coach here at Highland? Just what to expect here with these Trojans?
No, honestly, if you don't see our guys coming out and playing as hard as possible, right, and giving as much effort as possible and being as consistent as possible in that effort, you could probably expect the locker room to not sound so kind at that halftime, where we're trying to correct things, because that's the thing I'm gonna care about the most, is that if we could see our effort and our consistency in that effort and attention to detail and all those things for 4 quarters, they'll never hear a gripe from me as far as how they played or what the result of the game was.
Awesome. For Coach Jimmy McCormack, that's all from here from Highland High School. I'm Mike Dewan here at the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Your future starts
here.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.